until like a year after, first there was 2000, 9/11, you guys. At no point before 9/11 were people in Hawaii going, yeah, baby, it's on, let's go. Everybody saw, oh, brother, recession. So and there's another great moment. 2006, dude, we re-elected Linda Lingle because the economy is in such good shape. Remember, that was that whole campaign. I'm not saying I'm not down with it. I voted for at least once. But I'm just saying that that very moment was when the conversation should have been, okay, now what do we do? And I would go around, I actually used the board's data as an example in the fall of 2006 during the election campaign. I used two examples. One was the tourism data set, and one was the housing data set to go, look, the thing's not going up anymore. If you had seasonally adjusted, you would know, right? How does the board do? They Harvey does a 12-month trailing average, right? So a year from now, you'll know that the turning point was a year ago. Okay, who can wait that long? And I'm just saying, there's going to be a moment where these things actually turn around, and it's going to be years before people actually get back on the train. So your job is going to be to drag them back, right, into the trade, because they're going to be deluged with information that says they shouldn't do the trade.
One Republican trying to drag a full Democrat.
Oh yeah, no, don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying the information set is almost always different. I should have picked another example, but the information set is almost always different.
It would have been better if they hired a bunch of people.
Here's another one of these. I don't get this whole idea that asset bubbles are like some rare thing. That's all we have in housing. By the way, the reason this is true in Hawaii is because of the regulatory environment. Trust me, I'm telling you, I'm not wrong about this. I used to be really kind of scared to assert it, but now no. In Iowa, home prices are log linear. They just look like that. And the reason is that there are no geographic constraints on development, and there are essentially no regulatory constraints on development. Okay, so geography matters. But
50 years of it.
I'm not even saying we should be building everywhere on Oahu. I'm actually down with the train, because I think we should only build around train stations for the next 50 years. But then I'm from Kailua, so I would think that. So I'll wrap up here. I mean, there are questions I'm sure you have. There's a lot of other stuff in here. Here's what's happening in tourism.
All right, come back to the hotel.
But I'll be happy to take your questions. It's not swine, it's H1N1. Another one I had to learn. Question in the back?
Spanish.
A PDF, sure. I'll send a PDF over. Yeah, yes. Oh yeah, it's our. If you don't mind, can I send you a PDF? Although each slide does have a copyright.
Well, just to break it down into real simple, because we have buyers and sellers in there.
Yeah.
If you were going to buy, what would the advice be? And if you were going to sell,
I mean, if I were gonna, do you want to live in that house? There you go. Right? Do you need to get the hell out of Dodge? Is your almost divorced wife about to, sell the house? So, I mean, this is not a trading environment. If I were going to be speculating, I'd be taking a long, drink and studying equity valuations. The housing market is not going to lead us that from a valuation standpoint. But yeah, is it worth paying that price to live in the house? It's not that much harder. I'm not waiting for a lot of movement in these. I'm thinking we're much closer to the end of this than the beginning. There's this issue that, Oahu ends up higher, but maybe it should.
But if we get to the end, then you see a period beyond that of just sort of stabilization before it starts to
Yeah, I mean, the stabilization, it could be like the 90s. My guess is it's not that long. Again, the main thing that happened, the main thing that distinguishes California, here, look at this part of the California experience from 92 first part of the Oahu experience, from 95 to 2000, the big factor, the idiosyncratic factor in both cases is military downsizing. In Southern California, it was aerospace, right? So General Dynamics went away. On Oahu, it was later in the decade, BRAC, base reduction and closure, or something like that. Realignment, thank you, yes. It was the U.S. military force presence on Oahu went from 64,300 in 1988 to about 40,000 in 1998. So you take 25,000 military personnel and their dependents, which is 50,000 people, approximately the contemporaneous population of the island of Kauai, and move them off of Oahu, you're going to have a problem in the Oahu housing market. You know, oh, and it kills me. These people, they talk about, yeah, remember the brain drain? Remember, oh, the brain drain was really bad in the 1990s. And if you look at the demographic data, sorry, I should have my laptop plugged in. Because if you look at the demographic data for the late 1990s, it was the case that in the age 20 to 30 cohort, there's like 20,000 people left Oahu in the 1990s. That's because they were all in the military. So it's only the brain drain if they were like all the smart young guys in the military. But it's just a complete wrong interpretation. I'm not saying people didn't leave Hawaii in the late 1990s. They did. You all have, you know, a sister-in-law whose cousin moved to Nevada. Moved to Las Vegas in the 1990s, right? But no, it was military downsizing. So unless you think something like that's going to happen again.
One of the things we face, like in the marketplace, is trying to give our buyers and sellers good advice. And like, I have a couple now, a young couple of kids. They own a nice home. They're a little bit unsure about their future job security. They both work for newspapers. And they want to know, like, do we sell now? Is it going to get worse before it gets better? Should we wait? And
what are they going to do, like sell and rent?
well, it's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, do you see it continuing to kind of go down and level for a while before?
Yeah, I don't think we've found the bottom here. I'm guessing we might have gotten there on condos, you know, maybe, but that wouldn't be my bet for single-family homes. Although, you know, we may be close enough. So, like, would you rather have a 5% loan or, you know, a 6% loan? That's the other part of that whole equation, right? If you missed that window when it was 4 1/4, I'm here to tell you that ain't coming back. So now the window is, you know, a 5% mortgage, and you know, don't wait too long, because in a year, you know, what are you waiting for on the financing side? You're waiting for the house to get cheaper, and then you have to pay an extra 100 basis points on your. So you need to really be doing your homework right now, because we're not at a place where there's a lot of movement in prices in either direction, and there's almost certainly the case that interest rates are going to be higher over the next couple of years. Question behind Rob. I can repeat the question if you can.
Well, you know, I noticed the lending institutions are basically conservative now, and I know it's affecting one of my listings. Wait,
Walk to the mic.
it's affecting.
Yeah.
It's on.
So, okay, I don't work for a bank anymore, so I don't really care.
She just turned it off.
That's affecting the marketplace,
Yeah.
because I have a listing that basically I'm having a hard time finding finance
Yeah.
for, and I have buyers that want to buy, but now they're not using, you know, their principal residence as rental
Yeah,
income because.
that's, you know, it's called the credit crunch for a reason. In fact, Google Bernanke credit crunch. Ben Bernanke wrote the whole literature on what's called the classic. This is an accessible. This is not a technical paper. The classic paper is inside the black box. Credit channels of transmission of monetary, inside the black box, credit channels of transmission of monetary policy. And it's a paper by Ben Bernanke and his homeboy, Mark Gertler. Gertler's at Columbia now. I knew him because we had offices next to